Hey there, rice enthusiasts! Today we're diving deep into troubleshooting every possible issue you might encounter with your Zojirushi rice cooker. Whether you've got a basic model or one of those fancy Neuro Fuzzy cookers, these solutions will help you get back to making perfect rice every time. Let's start with the most common complaint, rice that's either too mushy or too hard. If your rice is coming out mushy, you're likely using too much water. Remember, the measuring cup that came with your Zojirushi is actually smaller than a standard cup. It's about 180 milliliters. Always use the included cup for rice and the markings on the inner pot for water. For harder rice, the opposite is true. You're probably not using enough water. Also, don't forget to let the rice rest for 10 to 15 minutes after cooking. Now, what about when your rice cooker won't start at all? First, check the obvious. Is it properly plugged in? Next, ensure the inner pot is positioned correctly. Zojirushi cookers have a safety feature that prevents starting if the pot isn't seated properly. Also, check if the lid clicks shut completely. Any slight misalignment can prevent the cooker from starting. Strange smells coming from your rice cooker can be concerning. Usually, this happens when the inner pot or lid isn't being cleaned thoroughly enough. Rice particles can get stuck in the lid gasket and start to ferment. Remove the gasket carefully, clean it with mild soap and water, and let it dry completely. Don't forget to clean the steam vent as well, it's often overlooked. If your rice cooker is taking longer than usual to cook, several things could be happening. Check if you're cooking at high altitude. This can significantly affect cooking time. Also, make sure you're not overloading the cooker beyond its capacity. The heating element might also have mineral buildup from hard water, which can be cleaned with a vinegar solution. Speaking of the heating element, if you notice uneven cooking where some rice is perfect and some is undercooked, the problem usually lies in how you're spreading the rice. After adding rice and water, gently level the surface. Don't pack it down. This can create dense areas that cook unevenly. For those with digital models experiencing error messages, a simple reset often does the trick. Unplug the unit for about 10 minutes, then plug it back in. If you're seeing specific error codes like H01 or H02, these usually indicate a sensor problem. The first step is always to ensure the inner pot is completely dry on the outside before placing it in the cooker. A common issue with older Zojirushi cookers is the keep warm function either not working or making the rice too dry. The keep warm feature is designed to work for up to 12 hours, but it's best to not leave rice warming for more than 4 to 5 hours. If the function isn't working at all, check the sensor underneath the cooking pot for any debris or damage. Some users report their cooker making unusual sounds during cooking. A gentle bubbling sound is normal, but any loud clicking or buzzing could indicate problems with the thermal sensor or heating element. If you hear these sounds, stop using the cooker and check if anything is stuck between the heating plate and the pot. For those finding condensation dripping onto their countertop, check the steam vent cap. It should be clean and properly attached. Also, make sure your cooker is on a level surface. Even a slight tilt can cause water to collect and drip from the wrong areas. The timer feature not working correctly is often due to incorrect clock settings. Make sure the clock is set to the right time, including AM/PM. If the timer still won't engage, the internal battery might need replacement. This is a job for authorized service centers. If your rice is browning on the bottom, this doesn't always mean something's wrong. Many people actually enjoy this crispy layer called socarrat in Spanish cooking. However, if it's happening every time and you don't want it, try adding a tiny bit more water or checking if your cooker is sitting completely level. Modern Zojirushi models with multiple rice settings can sometimes seem confusing. If you're not getting good results, make sure you're using the right setting for your type of rice. Brown rice needs a completely different cooking cycle than white rice, and premium settings really do make a difference with high-grade Japanese rice. Remember that regular maintenance prevents most issues. Clean your cooker after every use, test the gaskets monthly for wear, and to scale the heating element every few months if you have hard water. These simple steps will keep your Zojirushi cooking perfect rice for years to come.